The platform had been dying for decades, its rusted rails stretching into silence, its benches cracked and forgotten. Yet every evening, Elena stood there, as if time had spared her alone. Rain soaked her coat, summer heat burned her skin, but nothing moved her from that spot. People in town had stopped asking questions long ago. She had become part of the station, as ordinary and as invisible as the flickering light above her. In the mid-1980s, when trains still roared through and the platform was full of life, Elena had been young and hopeful, and she told everyone about a soldier who loved her, a man who promised he would return on a specific train at a specific time to take her away. She described his smile, the way his hand held hers before he left, the quiet promise that lingered in the air long after the train disappeared. Days passed, then months, then years, but Elena never missed a single evening, convinced that he would come, that delays were temporary, and that love did not vanish so easily. Over time, her story turned into a legend, whispered through the town, a tragic tale of a woman abandoned by war, a symbol of devotion that slowly became something unsettling. People pitied her, then avoided her, and eventually forgot her. Yet she remained, her eyes fixed on the empty tracks, as if she could will the past into existence. Decades later, a journalist arrived, drawn by the abandoned station and the strange figure who refused to leave it. He watched her for days before approaching, expecting grief or madness, but what he found instead was certainty. Elena spoke calmly, insisting the soldier would return, that he was only delayed, that promises like his could not break. Curious, the journalist began searching through records, expecting to uncover a tragic history, but what he found was far more disturbing. There was no soldier matching her description, no record of deployment, no casualty report, no name connected to her story. It was as if the man she loved had never existed at all. Refusing to believe it was so simple, he dug deeper, speaking to elderly residents who had lived in the town since before Elena began waiting. Their memories blurred with time, but one detail remained consistent. No one had ever actually seen the man. They remembered Elena talking about him, remembered her waiting, but not a single person could recall his face, his voice, or his presence. When the journalist returned to confront her, there was no anger in her expression, no confusion, only quiet patience. He asked her his name, a simple question that should have been effortless, but for the first time in 40 years, Elena hesitated. Her lips trembled slightly, her eyes searching somewhere far beyond the tracks. And then there was nothing. No name came, no memory surfaced, only an empty silence that stretched between them like the rails themselves. In that moment, something fragile seemed to crack, not loudly, not dramatically, but quietly, like glass breaking under pressure no one could see. Yet even then, Elena did not leave. The next evening, she stood in the same place, her gaze fixed on the distance, as if nothing had changed, as if the absence of truth did not matter. The train never came because it was never scheduled to arrive, and the man she loved had no past, no records, no existence beyond the story she had built and believed for 4 decades. Whether it began as a lie, a coping mechanism, or a desperate attempt to fill an emptiness no one else could see, it had grown into something stronger than reality itself. And so, Elena continued to wait, not for a ghost or a memory, but for a man who had never been born, holding on to a promise that had never truly been made. And perhaps that is the quiet tragedy of the human mind, that when reality becomes too painful to bear, it creates its own truth to survive. But the longer we hold on to illusions, the deeper we lose ourselves within them, until one day, the line between what is real and what is imagined disappears completely. Sometimes, the hardest thing is not waiting, but accepting that there is nothing left to wait for.
Rusted